What's up, guys? Jaxel here. I am the author of a program called Scoreboard Assistant. It's a program basically started writing about 10 years ago. It's had multiple iterations, and this is the most recent iteration. It was released about 5 years ago, and it's received very little update because it's written in .NET, and I'm not really good at .NET. It's not my core competency. So it basically was what it was. I provided it with basically no support, which is why I only charged a penny for it. I still actually sell 5 copies of this program a day, and I'm not. But like I said, it's only a penny. So I don't know how many of those are actual genuine purposes or people just losing their download code and needing a new one. And for a penny, who cares? Let's just buy another their download code, whatever. But I've been wanting to rewrite it for a while, and I didn't want to do it as a program anymore because, like I said, it's not the type of programming I do. I mostly do web services. So I decided to rewrite this program as a web service. And as a web service, it wouldn't be a program that runs on your computer or your stream computer. It would be a program, well, it would just be a website that exists and you update your panels from the web. And with that, you can update from any device, whether it's Android, Windows, Apple, whatever. It'll work as long as you got a web browser. And with that, you'll also be able to give permissions for others to update your panels. So you can have multiple people updating scoreboards from the web. They could be, sitting on their toilet at home, not even, at the stream computer, and they can update things. And because of that, it's going to be a bit more expensive. I'm probably going to be doing it around $2 a month because it, like I said, it is a web service and there are servers to maintain, there's data to manage, and all that jazz. And this is just an introduction video on how it's going to work. I haven't released or opened up the website yet. The website does exist, but no one can register because I am still working on it. So anyways, here is basically a rough introduction to it. You'll be able to make an account. It'll probably be $2 a month. Right now, my account can make up to 3 packages. Package is going to be a term I'm going to be using a lot. A package is basically a collection of tabs or pages is what I'm calling them in this new version. Each one of these that you see on the screen is a tab, and a package would be a collection of all of these tabs. So you can have a collection just for fighting games, a collection just for Dark Souls death counts, a collection for one event series, a collection for another event series, things like that. All right, so we're going to get this started. We're going to create a package. Going to click Create, and we need to give a title to this package. Let's call it Test Package. Now, I also have 4 colors that you can set, and this is done with a simple color picker. You can even set opacity, but I'm not going to do it. Let's leave that as by default. I'll get into how these colors work later. I also have an editor section where you can set people as editors to your package, and then they'll be able to edit your package when they log in. Okay, so now we have a package here. It's called Test Package. And by default, it's pretty much empty. I have an option to add a page. I have options to edit the package again, add new editors, remove existing editors. I also have an option to add some cascading style sheets and JavaScript. Now, these settings here are going to be global settings to your package. So any styles or JavaScript that you put in either of these 2 areas will be global to every page, every field collection you do in this package. So let's move on and let's add our first page. And right at the start, I have 4 different types of pages available. You'll notice it's a lot less than this big list we have here. That is because this field collection type actually covers a lot of these options, so they don't really matter anymore. But let's start with the other ones first because they're quicker to get through. So let's start with OBS. I'm going to put OBS as display order 10 and click save. Now the OBS is a login screen because this page is about controlling your instance of Open Broadcaster software. It says at the top you need the OBS WebSockets plugin for OBS installed, and you can get that at the link. This auto filled out information that shouldn't be there. All right, so now we need to, I already have this on my OBS. I'm actually recording this video with OBS. So when I log in here, you're going to see it. This is my home network IP for my stream computer. It's not this computer. If it was this computer, I would just be able to connect with 127. So just click connect here and it would work. But we don't have that. All right, so we're going to click there. It's port 444. That's standard. And I'm going to input the password and then click connect. And there we go. It connected really quickly because, like I said, it's in my internal network, so it didn't have to go out to the internet or anything. And as you can see, status is it is recording. It's been recording for about 6 minutes. I can also click any of these buttons and change the scene. I'm not going to do that now because, like I said, I'm recording, and I'm recording on the middle scene, so let's leave it there. I can also start streaming with a click of a button. And, of course, edit the page as needed, which we're not going to edit. All right, now let's add another page. And let's show the example of Twitch. Now, I'm showing Twitch. I can't type. But there's also a Mixer page, which is pretty much exactly the same as Twitch. So I'm not really going to go over the Mixer page. Since most people use Twitch, let's do the example with Twitch. All right, got the Twitch page. It's got an authorization screen. Going to click connect and authorize. And then now we have our Twitch panel. You know what? I'm going to change something. I like the darker skin color. Let's go with that. All right, we have the Twitch panel. It shows the title of the stream, which was what we streamed yesterday. So I am recording this on April 19th. There you go. And we have our game setting. I can also run commercials, which I can't run right now because 8-Way Run is not currently live and needs to be in order to start commercials. That's fine. And then I have basic stream statistics that will expand as we go live. I can run commercials of different length. But the interesting thing about this is the game selection. So here you can see it says Soul Calibur 2 HD Online. Let's change the game. Soul Calibur. And there we go. It automatically populated with a list of games in the Twitch database. And let's change that to Soul Calibur 5 and then save. And your changes have been saved. There you go. Again, very simple. This new version, since PHP, which is what this is programmed in, is my core competency, this is going to be programmed a lot better than this terrible .NET program, which admittedly people liked, but it had its problems. I may be the only one who knew about the problems because I'm the only one who actually saw the code since it was not open source. But I really hated it. I didn't like it. All right. So let's go back to the main page type, and that is field collection. Now, if we look at the old page, you can see, or the old program, you can see I have a field collection for scoreboards, a field collection for 4-player scoreboards, a field collection for text fields, lower thirds. Well, this is basically individual fields, shareable fields. Images I haven't implemented yet, but that'll be in the future. So this field collection will try to replace all that. So let's make it a versus page, and let's make it display order 1. There we go. All right, and the versus page is not a static page. It is a manually designed page. You can add fields to it, remove fields to it, change field properties. So you can make any page here look the way you want it by adding and removing pages. You don't really need to know how to code to do that, and that's what we're going to show here. So I'm going to make let's do something. Let's say let's do create a field. As you can see, like, it's blank, so you'll have to click add field. First option is a unique key. The unique key is how the database in your script is going to know what information you're fetching, which is why it has to be unique. You should make this something that you recognize. But if you leave it blank, it'll auto-generate a key. So let's name it round. And that's the title of the field, round. And I'm going to make this a standard text field with one row and make it first on the list. There is a database option, and the database is similar to how the old program worked. Anytime you put something into a field, it would add that item to the database of things that were searchable. And here you can edit the database. You can even lock the database to make sure no new items get added to this database. So let's leave that blank for now. All right. So we have our first field. It is called round 1. Now, the reason why it has a 1 at the end is because of our iteration system with the row system. So round 1, I can make it a 2-row field. And now I have a field for round 1 and round 2. And the database between these two fields is shared, and I can even swap them as needed. So let's say round 1 would be winners finals, winners finals. I can't type. And then click save. There we go. And then, as we can see, winners finals was added to the database. Now let's also add in something for losers finals. And then click save. And for round 2, let's search. If I start typing, it'll automatically bring a drop-down menu of everything in the database that matches the search. So let's make that winners finals and click save. And with the swap button, I can swap the contents of the two fields very easily. Now, there's no real reason for this to be a 2-row field. So let's remove one of the rows. And there we go. Row 2 has just been removed. So now let's add another field. And with this one, we're going to do players. Because, like I said, we're going to do a versus scoreboard here. So this will be a scoreboard field, which is similar to a text field, but it has a point counter at the end. So let's make this second in the list. And let's have this 2 rows. Since it's going to be multiple players, there's going to be a reason to have 2 players here. So let's say it's going to be Jaxel versus Manticore. There we go. And of course I can click save. I can swap the players. I can change scores. And when I swap the players, their scores will swap with it. I can also reset the scores to 0. Now, another thing that's interesting here is in the old version, I'd have to have a 2-player scoreboard and a 4-player scoreboard. You don't need to do that anymore. Now you can just click edit and add more players. There we go. Now we have 4 players and a whole selection of swap buttons for all the players. But I'm going to be doing 2 players for this example, so let's stick with 2 players for now. And there was another field type here that we want to talk about, and that is clipboard. I'm going to call this copy. And this is a specialized field. Very specific purpose of this field. It doesn't really do much except create a copy text field. So let's say I was going to say this is the break number 510. Whoops. And this is going to be Soul Calibur 6. And I want to include the round 1. Am I doing this right? I think I'm doing this right. I think it's only 1. There we go. But I can't type. I have a microphone in front of my face, and it makes it so I can't really see where my fingers are. All right. And then this is going to be player 1 versus player 2. Whoops, these are supposed to be curly braces, not parentheses. And all this really does is when I click copy text, it's going to take the contents of the fields defined and put it on the clipboard, text copy the clipboard. So if I go here and do Control V, it did not do that properly. What did I type wrong? Oh, you know what? Because the name of this field is players, not player. Aha. So there we go. Now if I click copy, it automatically propagated the information. The break 510, Soul Calibur 6, Losers Finals, Manticore versus Jaxel. And the reason I use that is I use it to copy a file name. So when I'm done recording the match, I'm going to go right to the file and rename it as that. And it makes it very easy to do on-the-fly file naming. And then when I get home, I immediately just start uploading. And that's how we get our uploads up so quickly. Now, there's also a text field with the players field. That's accessed through players_1s. Just add an S to the end. And then when we copy, it'll have the score instead of the players. That's just a hidden feature. But that's where it is. All right, so we have our first panel here. And like the package options, you're going to see options for CSS, JavaScript, and HTML on the page options over here. Now, I'm going to talk about it in the next video because this video is getting kind of long. So I will see you back soon. And that video is going to be a lot more complicated than this one. So stick around. Peace.